Wow, I am really excited to be sitting in the virtual offices of Stage Centre, as we all are, unfortunately, again, in some parts of Australia, with my beautiful long-term friend and fabulous Australian performer, producer, artist extraordinaire, Catherine Alcorn. Thanks, Kath, for joining us.
Oh, thanks, Bernie, and thank you, Stage Centre, for having me.
Well, we love you and your work, and but we've got some special things to talk about today because, unfortunately, as Australia is very well aware, Sydney is once again in a lockdown. And yes. And what a lot of people may not realise is the extent to which this is absolutely devastating to our performing arts community. So you've had to rustle and hustle once again to survive however long this lasts. You did it last year with the Reservoir Room, which was fantastic, and what a great achievement on that. And so you've got something coming up this week that we really want to talk about, but I'm really interested in you sharing with our Stage Centre community in Australia what it's like for you, how the show came about this week, what it means to you and to the other performers, and indeed the performing arts community at large, for Australians to jump online and support what you've got coming up.
Sure. Well, I think the reality of the situation that not many people understand is that the arts isn't only impacted immediately. We're going to be impacted for a good couple of years after this. It's not just something that can pick up again where it was as soon as we get out of lockdown. I think that's really important for everybody to understand. Once lockdown ends, once we kick this thing in Sydney, capacities in theatres, in venues, in restaurants even, is just not going to be the same. So as a producer, if I'm sending a show into a theatre and capacity is 50%, that bottom line is near impossible to break even. And even if once we get back to 100% in venues, it comes down to really consumer confidence and who's going to feel confident going back into a theatre. And, you know, in an ideal world, we'd all be vaccinated right by now. That obviously hasn't happened. That's a whole nother conversation. But immediately for me, my work has ceased again. I was due to do a performance at the Paddle RSL with Bill Scott. We were due to perform our show 30-something, that's the poster for it right up there, on the 30th of July. And that certainly won't be happening. We don't know when the venue will be reopened, so I had to take that off sale this week. And I think also what's really important for people to understand too as a producer is that we don't get paid until the curtain comes down. We have no guarantee of fee. We have no salary. This is all a freelance living, and the majority of producers make their living from box office sales. So I can produce something for 6 months with no income, expecting the payoff to be closing night. But if we don't get that opening night, if the show doesn't go up at all, we don't get anything. So this is a huge problem right now. Again, for the arts community, for Sydney arts community, it's a huge problem. Productions are being shut down, shoots are being shut down, gigs are being cancelled. Massive big productions, big commercial productions are shutting down around Sydney. Artists are being stood down without pay, which is a massive issue. And a lot of these artists and entertainment workers, when they're not on a gig, they will lean on hospitality. And of course, what is also shut down, the hospitality industry. So we're really, really hurting. We are really at a loss. So it's back to online for me and for a lot of my company. We will be we'll be doing our streaming again just to make ends meet.
Which is absolutely vital. And you know, when you talk about making ends meet, I'd love everybody to just stop and think for a moment, those of us who have regular incomes, who aren't freelancers, who don't rely on a gig economy, just what that would mean if all of a sudden our pay stopped. And we have children and we have families and obligations and mortgages and all of those kind of things. It must be incredibly stressful. And not only when individual jurisdictions close down, so, we've had Melbourne lockdowns and Sydney lockdowns, but the border closures is another layer of challenge for touring shows, isn't it? So even though, Victoria is open, the theatres are open, touring shows can't go there. And those shows that were crossing borders and relying on those tours can't cross the borders, or the artists can't leave Sydney to go to those other jurisdictions, which is understandable. We understand, these kind of things, but the flow on and the impact is devastating. So back to online we go. Tell us what you've got planned, Kath.
Well, as you said, last year we launched a virtual venue out of Paddington Town Hall called the Reservoir Room, which was a 5-week season, and that was incredibly successful. It was a wonderful experience, and we were hoping to do a second series, but the world started to reopen again, so everyone kind of went back to their jobs and went back to on stage a little bit. I started doing some gigs again, and now we find ourselves in a position where Sydney's locked down once more. I was very fortunate. You were just talking about touring. I was very fortunate to have just scraped by and taken my company down to the Festival of Voices in Tasmania. We were granted exemption on the Tuesday, flew on the Wednesday, and opened on the Friday. And then we came back to lockdown in Sydney. And the ABC News approached me and a couple of other artists for a story last Thursday, about the impact lockdown has on the arts. And the following day, the Melbourne Digital Concert Hall contacted me in association with Kauai, of which I'm an ambassador for Kauai Pianos. And they said, look, we've got this model. We've been doing some great stuff in Sydney. Would you like to do a concert next Friday night? And I said, absolutely, yes. They approached me personally just to do a one-off and keep it small. They said, keep it small. Yeah. In the only way I know how to keep things small, I've invited 5 guests to come along with me, and suddenly Catherine and Friends was born. And the Melbourne Digital Concert Hall is a really, really wonderful model, and I'd love to explain it to you because this is how people are going to know where their money goes.
Yeah. So
2020, the Melbourne Digital Concert Hall did over 300 live streaming shows.
Wow.
And the $20 ticket price that you pay goes directly to the artists on stage in that show. And then the $4 booking fee goes to covering the streaming costs. So if you buy a ticket, you know that it's going to be directly received by the artists and for those people you see on stage. So that's how it works. Pretty simple.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And it really can make an enormous difference. There are a lot of Australians sitting at home. And even if you're not having to sit at home, it's very easy to jump online, pay $20, 75 minutes of pure, joyful entertainment. I know without a doubt it'll be fabulous. I mean, you're there, Varushka's there, and we've got some other terrific artists. Tell us about those.
Oh, amazing stars. We've got the star of Hamilton, Jason Arrow. Oh my God. We've got Opera Australia, mezzo-soprano extraordinaire and a very dear friend of mine, and a cabaret artist as well, Miss Jackie Dark.
We've
the flaming guitar man from Mad Max Fury Road, music icon Iota. This woman, this lady called Mandy who lives in Vaucluse, she called me. She started hassling me a couple of days ago, knowing that I was doing this concert. I think she just needs to get out of her house for a little while. But she has offered to come along and show us her jewellery collection from Secrets of Africa. So don't ask. I needed to get her off my back, and I had to say yes. So she'll be there doing God knows what. And then Varushka Darling as well, who will be ready to stand by and take your texts.
Oh, and look, who does not love Varushka? Honestly. We love Varushka. And I'm very excited because we might do a couple more follow interviews this week on Stage Centre with those fabulous people. And I was remembering iota. I have to say, one of my claims to fame, I'm flicking my hair that I don't have. I'm trying to grow it. Anyway, first world problem. But I was actually an extra on Mad Max Fury Road. And so I know. So I had a fabulous week pretending to be a wretch. And so Iota and I will have, I'm sure, lots of things to discuss. I, on the other hand, I unfortunately was covered in dirt and mud and dust and, but yeah.
Immunity.
I know, it was great. So I can't wait to have those chats, and we can't wait to see the show because the Reservoir Room was fabulous. So I know what to expect. Mm-hmm. So people around Australia, please, keep an eye out for the interviews coming up. We'll be sharing lots of stuff. Catherine will be sharing lots of things. And you can make a real difference to these artists and also to the artists who aren't performing with you, just giving them, that the feeling that Australia is behind you. Australia is supporting artists online in whatever it is that they're trying to do to keep surviving through. And the challenge is, like before, we don't know how long this will last.
No. So, time around, especially Bernie, we don't have that immediate government support. We don't have we don't have job seeker.
Yeah.
For me in particular, I'll be looking at small business packages, but they don't kick in until August. So what are we supposed to do until then? Yeah. And another point I just wanted to make is that yes, it's this is supporting the artists, but this is also supporting our audiences who have lost.
Yes.
We live for our fans and we live for our audiences, and they too have been restricted in such a massive way. There are so many ticket holders out there for all of these amazing shows who now have to wait, and they've so hopefully we can bring some just a touch of what they would normally experience live, but straight to their living room. Don't even need to get dressed up. How good's that? Stay in your track. Who wears hard clothes anymore anyway?
I know, that's exactly right. I mean, I think you and I could probably fess up to being slightly more comfortable below the waist right now. But so thank you so much, Kath, for joining us. Really excited to support you. At Stage Centre, we are all about supporting live performers, live theatre. We're very lucky to get up to Sydney before all this closed down to get to a number of shows. We're doing our best to cover what shows we can from a distance and making that available to people via the Stage Centre app. So you can, find more information about Catherine and Friends on the Stage Centre app, which is free to download on Google and the app stores. And we wish you all the very best, Catherine. I know it's going to be a terrific show. And looking forward to catching up a few more times this week with Catherine and Friends.
Thank you so much. This Friday, the 16th of July, 8:30 p.m. AEST, and it is worldwide, so anyone around the world can watch it, and I believe you've got a 72-hour pass to watch it back, so you won't miss it.
That's terrific. That is terrific. So it's a ticket that keeps on giving for a day, which is terrific.
What you're doing for us and the arts.
Pardon?
I said thank you, Stage Centre, for us and the arts.
You are most welcome. Well, we love it, and we've really missed. Australia is really missing our live performers, and a shout out to all of you. We love you very much. We miss you. We're supporting you, and so come on, Australia and the world. Log on this week for Friday night, 8:30. Catherine and Friends. It's going to be fabulous, and we look forward to seeing you all there. Thanks, Kath, for joining us.
Thank you so much,
and we will see you all soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.